Hello, Vayner Nation. I'm Alex Davis. I work on new business and all things. I'm an account director here. I've been here about, 8 months now. Feels like a year almost. I'm really excited for my Vaynerversary. So I wanted to ask a question which I think is going to help some of the entrepreneur viewers, but also just the future leaders at VaynerMedia. When you're transitioning from that doer to a leader, knowing what your priorities are and where to put your focus so that it counts.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. And this is something I have a lot of. And to put a little more color for everybody listening, at Vayner and a lot of other places, you get into a place where, I think you said it right? You're in execution mode and then all of a sudden you're managing a team. And those are two very different things. And it's the thing that I most fear in the organization, period, end of story, because you have incredible executors who yearn for the financial upside and the title to then lead a team, and boy, are those two very, 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 very different skill sets. And so I think the biggest thing that people struggle with, there's so many things people struggle with the transition. Number one, the thing I hate more than anything in the world, which is micromanagement.
Yeah.
I want to kick micromanagement in the face. I hate it. And it's something I just despise, and it's a major struggle because if you're a great executor, you know how to cross those T's and dot those I's, and when you see the person on your team who's not as strong at executing, you can't help it, right? It goes against the grain. So that's number one thing, facing yourself in the mirror and understanding, and and I've talked to you about this, and I've talked to so many leaders in this company about this, this is where people get pissed at me, most things don't matter. And that's a very tough mental transition to somebody that manages a team. The other thing that a lot of people struggle with, and I talk about this quite a bit in the organization as well, is when you're a leader, you have to be the bigger man and woman in every situation. And a lot of times people, especially when they make that first transition and it's the first time they're the leader, they look at it wrongfully because of society as I'm the boss, and they try to impose their will, instead of what I think the real skill set is, which has become a full-time listener, a full-time empowerer, a full-time eat crap and have humility and empathy and self-awareness. And so you go from what I believe is IQ to EQ, and a lot of people can't make that transition. I think the reason this organization has grown so much is that's all I focus on when that transition happens, and don't try to put pressure on people for new business and client services and all the normal things one has to worry about. Now I'm the leader, now this client has to respect me, I need to make Steve happy. I don't care about that. I can take care of that at the highest levels. It's about really empowering people to become leaders, and leaders, I love this. I mean, this is obviously a subject matter I love. We talked about it even in yesterday's episode. It takes so much more motherly, historically stereotypical motherly skills to be a leader, and I think people are confused. I think by default people think it's fatherly stuff, and I think it's motherly stuff. It's emotional skills that allow somebody to make that transition, and really one of the biggest factors in this whole thing is self-esteem. If you're not able to believe in yourself, nobody else is gonna believe in you. And so I think one of the things is, look, I got fortunate. I got a mother that instilled so much self-esteem in me that I'm still trying to get some of it out of me so that I don't come across as like an egotistical craphead. But I think a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people in my family don't have that, and I see it. And one of the weird little tidbits that I think can make this episode valuable is, if you get into a leadership spot, and if you're self-aware enough to know that your mom or dad put you down your whole life, or society did, or you grew up as a minority, or whatever took self-esteem out of your body, or if it was never instilled in the first place, I think you need to find an outlet to create it. I think you need to find an outlet to create it. I think one of the things that I focus on here is I instill it. I instill it. I do talk 90% of the time about the positives. I just can't help it. I'm optimistic, and I just see it. I do see the good. It's what I do. There's always bad, but I think you need to seek it out, and that may come in the form of extracurricular activities. You might be a great soccer player or an improv actor, or maybe the person you date. Maybe you look for somebody who, instills that. I think that's a very attractive characteristic. I can tell you the reason I married Lizzie so quickly, it was because she was my mom. And so I like coming home and having a cheerleader. Like, you're great. I love that. I want that. And so I think that those are the things that come top to mind.